We know that the Calgary Roughnecks and the Georgia Swarm went to Edmonton and played an unboxed game. That was what the NLL labeled it. It was a second unboxed game. The last one was 2 years ago in Laval, aka Montreal, aka Quebec, I guess. That was the first one. There's speculation and rumors that Laval still wants a team, but certain things have kind of turned them off, but they are still interested. But I want to focus first on Edmonton, and then I want to talk about the bigger picture of other cities potentially working here. So with Edmonton, we know that there was a thing that about the attendance, and I don't want to say guilty of that, but I was one of the ones who talked about only 6,900 people being there, considering the lower bowl, holds 10,000 by itself anyways. But I was told by a few people that it didn't really matter about the attendance, at least for Oilers Entertainment Group, because OEG is the group that if the NLL wants to go back to Edmonton, OEG is going to have to get involved. I was told by a few folks that OEG was kind of hands-off in this whole thing. I've asked around, and it seems like the attendance was not really a thing for them. And I also found out a little bit of possibility why it seemed like there was no promotions at Oilers games, even though some said there was, some said there wasn't. There was not, including like the night before the Oilers had a game, and people said they had no idea what was happening. So the Oilers are a super popular NHL franchise. Obviously, they've got Connor McDavid, a.k.a. McJesus. They've got Leon Draisaitl. They just went to the NHL Finals last year, the Stanley Cup Final, and they've got sponsors for days. And why would OEG or the Oilers, why would they hype up an NLL game when it wouldn't really benefit them, and they might actually be taking away from sponsors that are already there? Like, I know, I'll put it this way, if you wanted this thing to be sponsored or hyped up, you kind of have to pay for that time. Like, you don't want some random PA guy to say, all right, guys, just a reminder, tomorrow there's going to be an unboxed NLL game. Like, that would do nothing for people. Like, I don't even know how many people that would register in their brains if during some random intermission they just heard that. Like, oh, okay, you're eating like some hot dog and you're not paying attention to that stuff, I would assume. So it would cost I say try to pay for a spot anyways, but I get it if other sponsors are already there. Like, why get a random PA thing? It makes no sense. So keeping that in mind, they also could just open up the barn and then they get all the ticket money and all the food and beverage money. Yeah. Now, I do think the NLL not having any merchandise there was a little bit weird. And I know people say you can blame the teams for that. Can we, though? Like, if you're like if you're the league that's like, these teams are under your umbrella, why would you not push them and almost force them to put merchandise? Why wouldn't you do that? It seems that was a big drop, and that was a big complaint among fans. Another big complaint among these passionate fans was that they did not know it existed, even the diehard sports fans. So it is a little bit weird. But I have been told, and I have, again, asked around, and just even speculation can tell you, if OEG wants a team, they'll get a team. But I keep saying, do we know that even next year anybody else gets a team? Because I don't think expansion is the thing here. It might be a relocation, possibly, but like the Georgia Swarm is one that keeps being thrown around. Folks, I've got like ears to the ground in Georgia. I'm told that John Arlotta has a lot of stuff down south, possibly has a lot of Cherokee money coming in. Like, there's things keeping the Swarm in Georgia besides just the team and its 4,500 attendance. Like, so there's a lot of stuff that John Arlotta has tied to down here, including houses and business and stuff like that. I know, like, the only reason they left left Minnesota was because his son was a little bit wild. But, like, and that's just another can of worms. But I don't see Georgia going there. I do find it weird that Georgia was kind of like told to go there in a way. And I've also heard that John Arlotta probably made some money, which is crazy, off the whole deal. So the one team that sticks out is the Philadelphia Wings, because, like, they're the sore thumb of the league right now. We know that Joe Tsai is kind of sugar daddy them this season. Like, he's not owning the team, but like he paid for them this year to rent out the barn or whatever it is. And we don't even know if Philadelphia is going there. And I'll say it again, Calgary is not safe either, because that new barn, if you're not selling it out every single night, you might not get in there either. I know Calgary fans are going to tear me a new one, but that is reality. If you build this exciting new entertainment venue, you don't know, if you're not selling that thing out every night, they can put other stuff in there, and that's an issue. So keep that in mind. Calgary, they do a great job, but if they ain't packing that new thing out in Calgary, they're not safe. And it sucks, but that's how it is. There you go. Wings roster is loaded with American talent. If they relocate, it would be great to see them south of the border. And folks, there's speculation, and I've said this from day one. Philadelphia is an area, a sports town that's very passionate. If the NLL has any traction or any headway or any momentum, should I say, going at the end of this year, why wouldn't a local someone or something help them out? Whether it's a barn renting, like giving them a free barn for a couple of years. Like, there's things. I'm not sold on Philadelphia bouncing just out of the state just yet. Well, I believe there's stuff that could happen there. And again, I also think, I said this before, Joe Tsai, and not to get down a Wings tangent here, I don't think Joe Tsai funded that team just to save them and see what happens. I think he knows a little bit of something other people don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he did hear enough rumblings that he went ahead. Because this guy, you don't get rich by just giving away money and being a charitable guy. You get rich by investing. And that's what he did here. Even if he loves lacrosse, like, you don't just give away money to a team that you don't even own. Just saying. Again, as for Georgia, you heard my take on that. Calgary, you're not safe. But again, I'm not sold that Edmonton gets a team next year. There still has to be some stuff that has to happen first. Now, that leads me to a bigger picture. What cities, just right off the top, do I think can make an NLL or really any sports team work? Well, a few come to mind. Number one, I've always been on the train of Seattle, and I'm going to tell people this because I keep rewinding back or circling back to the WNBA. I've said it for years. The Seattle Storm, I know they were good, and I get that. But the Seattle Storm, when the WNBA was not even close to being popular, I mean, the dog days of the WNBA, Seattle fans showed up. When the Seahawks have any playoff game, fans in Seattle show up. I am now, like, I'm a Kraken fan. I keep tabs on the final scores. I don't watch the games. I can't get into hockey. I'm a Kraken fan, and they packed that some gun out at Climate Pledge Arena. All right. I don't know how an NLL team would get to Seattle. It probably would have to be expansion. I'm telling you now, Seattle has got loyal fans. Another city that has loyal fans, and I'm sickened by the way they moved their team, is Boston. And I think Boston fans are right up there with Philadelphia fans. Like 80% of them, at least on social media, are scum of the earth human. Like they seem like they are going to go out of their way to make you hurt personally if you dare criticize their team. That being said, that's a loyal fan base. Boston always shows up, and they are a rabid bunch. So I do think that Boston would be a great opportunity to go back to. I know New England Black Wolves, call them the Boston something. Like, to stop doing New England. It's Boston. I know those guys up there, they know we're new. It's not like a Panther City, but just call it Boston. Like, come on now. Another city that comes to mind, how about Kansas City? Like, when the Kansas City Royals were in the playoffs, that team was super, super loud. I believe they have an MLS team. I haven't checked that. I'm sure they do. Like, everyone's got an MLS team now. But the MLS team does well. And then the Chiefs. Like, that's it. That team was packing. Those fans were packing out that team before Mahomes even got there. All right? I know people claim the Chiefs are some bandwagon. That's not true. The Chiefs, those KC fans are very loyal. And that goes across multiple sports, by the way. So again, and these are just United States cities, by the way. And I'm trying to like stay away from the Northeast. I think Seattle, and okay, Boston's the Northeast, but what it's kind of like its own little thing. Seattle, Boston, and Kansas City are three loyal United States fan bases that I think could work. I'll put another team out there. How about Houston? And I know that sounds like we already tried Texas. I don't know about that. We know that WNBA ownership out there did not give a crap to promote the team whatsoever. And I think Houston, when you look at the Texans/Oilers, when you look at the Astros, there's other teams out there, the Rockets, Houston shows up in a big way. I think that's another U.S. sports team, like sports town, that can make it work. And Canadians, you can chop it up in the comments. I know we got a few flowing here. Another team, another city that I say is Savannah, because I know I'm going to get laughed off the internet. I get it. The Market Arena has done a great job. The city of Savannah has shown up. If you give these college kids cheap beer, they're going to pack that barn out, all right? We should not be a hockey town in Savannah, and that's what the Ghost Pirates have done to us. How's that for you? But why do I think even Savannah could work? A comment made by CLL's Chris Fox is why. Marketing, marketing, marketing. Folks, the fans that showed up to Edmonton that talked to our very own captain, they were saying they were angry. They did not know the game was happening, which means many more people also have felt the same, especially after the fact when they didn't even go to the game. All right? So when you keep that in mind, can you imagine? And it's a crazy scenario to think about if the NLL actually gave 2 cents about the Edmonton game. Brad Frood goes there, sees no merchandise, has got, if he talked to any fans like Captain did, he knows how pissed they were. They didn't know. And I know that some other person ran this event. I know OEG was hands off. I do not care. They have got to figure out a way to stop, pow, 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 to stop shooting themselves in the foot with marketing. Because my whole point of this segment is, if sales and marketing are your priority, that's what happens. And like Captain said, They could have had 11,000 if they actually marketed it.